great.
In your House District 86?
House District 86.
Okay, great. All right, check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. Coming in 3, 2, 1. Well, we'll continue our conversation with our not fellow candidates. I'm not a candidate anymore. That was mayor race back in 23.
Yes.
Doing a conversation with different candidates for office, and today we're talking to our good friend Glenn Bill, who's running in House District 86, the Republican primary. The incumbent is Ed Delaney. So, Glenn, my friend, how's it going?
Everything's going great, Abdul, and I appreciate the time that you're giving me today. And I'm excited to share my thoughts on District 86 in Marion County and how I can be a difference maker for the constituents in District 86.
All right, so just so people know, we're having a conversation at Blend, which is a cigar bar on the north side. Is this District 86 right here, or?
This is no, it's east of District 86. It's
okay.
East, so it's not in my district.
All right, yes. But close enough.
It's close enough, yes, absolutely.
And I thank our good friend Corey for allowing us to be here today and have cigars and do this conversation. So let me ask you, you're a successful real estate person. What the hell are you thinking?
Well, many people have said that, but, I'm more than just a successful business person. I'm a lifelong resident of District 86. Grew up in the Meridian Kessler neighborhood, went to public school 84 from kindergarten to 5th grade. They closed down the junior high, and I ended up at Christ the King and attended Bishop Chatard High School, where I was fortunate enough to play on 2 state championship teams. Went and played football at Ball State with the wonderful Jason Whitlock, who's a dear friend of mine, but highly controversial. I think I have his support. And after that, I coached at Bishop Chatard for 25 years. So I spent 25 years on a football field with Democrats, Republicans, independents, people from all different socioeconomic backgrounds, different political views, different political parties. And the one thing I learned, being fortunate enough to coach 11 more state championship teams with that group of fantastic young men, was that sports can bring us together, and I think politics can bring us together. One of my goals is to make politics fun and have as much fun doing this as I did coaching football. Not only did I spend my time coaching and selling real estate and brokering deals, but I took over a company and bought a company at 23. When I started my career, I was absolutely dead broke. And so I know that there's a lot of my constituents who feel the same. Too much month at the end of my money. And I'm a common man that has served the public and dedicated my life to the public for the past 38 years while I've been doing business. I took a company with my partners, and we had 16 real estate agents. And after growing that company for 17 years, taking the risks that small business people need to make, signing large bank notes to build buildings right up here on 96th Street, I feel that I have that experience, that life experience of what it means to be absolutely dead broke, build something great. One of my strategies as I built my business has always been community involvement. And I've also written 2 best-selling books that are on Amazon, The ABCs of Attitude and Source of Sales. And when I teach people how to do what I've done, so many people ask me, how'd you do what you did? It's always been anchored in community service. I've served on boards, countless boards, and it's just always been part of my fabric to give back to the community that I think has given me so much.
We're talking to Glenn Bill, Republican candidate for House District 86. That's the north side of Indianapolis. So we're having a conversation. We've talked to all the candidates for office. You said something interesting that you want to make politics fun again.
Yes.
Are you sure that's a cigar you're smoking?
It's a cigar. Being one of the foremost thought leaders on attitude, the definition of attitude is quite simply this. It's the way you dedicate yourself to the way you think. And the great thing about having a positive attitude and having fun is it gets to be your choice. So as the great Deion Sanders said, you didn't make me, so you can't break me. And I'm choosing to have fun, to stay positive, to get outside of the box or get creative on ways to help us with the issues of the day that matter most to the people, which, obviously right now is affordability is a big thing. I'm a landlord. I own a lot of different properties. I have several tenants in those properties. I'm not a rent raiser because I started out knowing what an increase in rent does. Have I raised rents? Sure. But I think if you look at what I charge in my rents, it's below what the average always is. And that's my thought.
It's interesting to bring up that issue of affordability because obviously that's a big issue. We polled affordability was a big issue in our informal survey we did. A lot of polls of affordability. How do you get things under control? Because part of it is just free market. Part of it is just sort of the natural business cycle, but try to tell that to somebody who's trying to decide between paying their gas bill, buying gas in their car, putting groceries on the table.
Sure. So, it all starts with education. We have to really find out what is driving up the prices, right? Coming from the housing sector, property taxes are a huge issue for us. My taxes on many of my properties have gone up 35% in the past 5 years.
And just for the record, you pay the 2% rate because it's rental property.
That is correct.
Not residential. Not. It may be in a residential neighborhood, but it's considered a rental. So therefore, the property tax cap hits you sort of twice as hard as it would on your home.
And I own some commercial buildings, and those rates are 3%. So as a business owner, and I appreciate what was done, and I appreciate the thought behind 1, 2, 3. But as a business owner who employs people, that tries to buy your own building, create wealth for your family, triple the tax on your commercial buildings is tough for a lot of landlords. When we look around District 86, especially in the Broad Ripple area, we got, I think, 17 vacancies in Broad Ripple right now. And people ask me, why are those properties vacant? And one reason is the cost to cover owning commercial real estate anywhere in District 86, strip centers, office buildings, restaurants, retail strips. The cost to operate those buildings, most of that cost for a lot of owners is the property tax bill. Not to mention the insurance rates have gone through the roof. So what does an owner have to do? An owner has to price himself out of the market. And what I'm seeing are extremely high commercial rental rates, which affect tenants. So now you try to give somebody a break with a good idea who's got the American dream, who wants to come in and run a business, but they can't afford to come in and start their business in your building. So, real estate is a major factor. Most people don't know that when a property sells, 66 people get paid on a real estate transaction. Inspectors, termite treatment people, window cleaners, roofers, gutters. The list goes on and on. So I'm very knowledgeable about that. I think we can look at property taxes. I have one creative idea. Some people don't like it. Would be to cut the investment property taxes 30%. 15% of that would go directly to the tenant's rent or rent reduction. 15% would go to the owner. There's a difference between owning property that's 60, 70, 80, 90 years old as opposed to owning a brand new gorgeous property up in Hamilton County where they're all brand new. So there's economics of a real estate owner that are real, that trickle down to tenants, because when you talk about maintaining these types of structures, it's costly and it gets passed on.
We are continuing our conversation with House District candidate Glenn Bill, 86, running as a Republican running a Republican primary, which is May 5th, and the Democrat primary, too, for that matter, going up against Ed Delaney. Glenn, let's talk about Ed's term. Obviously, you're trying to say a positive campaign about what you're going to do. Why should voters choose you if you get through the primary over Ed Delaney?
Well, I should get through the primary because I'm unopposed, which will be great. And Ed has been in for 20 years or more, and I believe competition is good. I believe 2 out of the last 3 or 2 out of the last 4 elections, the Republicans have run no one against him. So I think inherently as a football coach for as long as I was, competition's a good thing. And so that's number one. Number two, obviously we have a majority in the House, 70-30. And so as good as Ed's ideas may be, he's fighting an uphill battle trying to get policy pushed through for the members of District 86 because he's in a major minority party. So the question is although we may be aligned on several issues, what candidate is going to be in the caucus that can actually move the ball down the field and make things happen? I don't think it takes a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon to figure out that somebody in the major majority is going to have a clearer avenue to do that.
Obviously, this is an odd election year, to put it mildly. It's usually not good news for the majority parties because there's sort of like 6 years of a presidential term and weird things kind of happen, the whole 9 yards. So my question is, how do you, as a Republican, sort of hopefully, in your case, break that trend?
Yeah. So the trend that we're trying to break is person-to-person contact, is my network, is my 38 years of service to District 86 and their residents. I've sold thousands of homes in District 86. I've coached hundreds of kids, if not thousands of kids, with the different things that I've done. I have 3 sons and a daughter who are all in their upper 20s and mid-30s. I've been a big part of their life, and I've been fortunate enough to be a big part of their friends' lives. And I believe that the younger voter is going to find more alignment with me because I'm out there working with them every day. I'm coaching their kids. I'm helping their 501c3s. One thing we did is something called Attitude Fest. That's one of the things I do, where we would rent out Broad Ripple Park and we'd raise money for 20 501c3 startups. So just simply through my community involvement and my engagement with the younger voter. I have no problem with older voters. I want older voters too. But I do believe that I'm going to be a candidate that will be favored by those voters that are 40 years and younger.
One of the big issues that popped up last session was the whole issue of redistricting, new maps. Donald Trump had encouraged Republican lawmakers to draw new maps. The votes weren't there. Now a lot of those senators who voted against those maps are facing primary challenges. Your thoughts on redistricting and this whole sort of, I call it Republican on Republican violence?
Yeah, so, I believe in representative government, and I think so many of our states are already gerrymandered to a point that it's not truly representative. So I'm in favor of doing whatever we can. If it comes down to redistricting, I would be on the side of let's really get a true representation of what's going on in Indiana. So, obviously that was a party vote. You were either with MAGA or you were not with MAGA. I'm proud of our fellow Republicans that stood up and said, I just don't think this feels right, that listened to their constituents, which I always will. Julia Carson was one of my favorite politicians, and I loved her ad that said, you talk and I'll listen, and she would pull her ear. And, I'm here to listen. I'm here to discern. I'm here to take my life experiences and put them into policy and to put them in my ability to influence others to help people help District 86.
You realize by saying something nice about Julia Carson, you just pissed off half the people south of I-70.
I'm sure. Well, I love the people south of I-70, but I don't represent them yet. And I'm sure whoever represents them will find me as an advocate, whether they're a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a common sense person from a middle class background, and I'm truly here to serve the people. It's what I've done. I have a track record of serving. I'm not doing this because I need to, but I'm doing this because I was asked to. I've had a lot of people that have wanted me to run for several different things. And I'm at a time in my life where, now's the strike point to go ahead and give it a shot.
We got a couple minutes left here for wrap up our conversation. One of the big issues has been the whole issue of data centers.
Yes.
And like I said, data centers almost become a sort of pejorative word these days.
Yes.
My personal theory is that people want the data, but they don't want the data center.
Right.
It's like the old joke, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die or do the work to get there.
Right.
So where are you on the whole data center issue?
Sure. So I think, our biggest issue with data centers right now is an education issue. I don't think people really know what they are, how they're paid for, if they're incentivized. I believe data centers, the Amazons and Metas of the world, have enough money that they don't need tax incentives to build data centers. I certainly understand that they don't create massive job growth, but they definitely have an appeal. The one thing that I'm going to be doing, I just texted Tom Dockich, my son is senior counsel at NeSource, is I'm going to have a symposium on data centers to educate the public so people can have a more informed decision of, are data centers good, are they not good, should they be there, should they not be there. The bigger issue with data centers is I listened to a ad driving in today. They said they're putting data centers on our farms. So there's a real private property issue at stake here. The last time I checked, it's the farmer's farm. It's not the citizen's farm. So again, being a real estate broker, I served as a member on the board of directors for the Metropolitan Indianapolis Board of Realtors, and I actually have met with Indiana Association of Realtors leadership. And this is an issue, we always look out for private property rights. This is an issue that I believe you're going to see real estate people lean into because the bottom line is nobody wants to be told what to do in their bedroom, and nobody wants to be told what to do with their property. So that's my take on data centers. And hopefully, if you're listening to this, you're going to see some publicity about the symposium I'm having. And if you want to learn, we need to be an educated public. I want to be an educator. I want to be a teacher and a coach to all those people that are thinking of voting for me. And that's going to be one of the first things we do.
I got about a minute left and some change. So at the end of the day, we'll close up this conversation the way we started running. You got a successful business, you're doing well, you're having a cigar, you get occasional bourbon every now and then, enjoy time with your grandkids. Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, I'm sure I want to do it. I've been told, Glenn, there's no way you're going to be able to beat a guy that's been in there 20 years. It's an incumbent. Coach Bobby Bowden always taught us and taught his children, if you want to take over a football team, you take over the losingest football team you can find. So Indiana Republicans, I do not believe, have had a seat in District 86 State House probably, well, I know for over 20 years. If I had to guess, it's probably over 50 years. So I'm not afraid of the challenge. If Kurt Cernetti was afraid of the challenge, there was no way Kurt was supposed to walk into Indiana and turn that around. So I'm not saying I'm Kurt Cernetti, but the premise, the idea of daily work and stacking days and working the fundamentals, I know how to win. I've always won. Google me.
Glenn Bill, candidate, House District 86, Republican. Thank you very much for being with us, my friend. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you, Abdul. You're the best.